I'm about to help you guys finish those games that you've never beaten. The ones where everything's going well and you're having fun, and then you mess up. You get into a serious losing streak, or you make a mistake you can't take back, whatever it is. I've had 3 times that exact thing has happened to me. And I'm going to help you by telling you what I was doing wrong and what I did to fix it. So, let's get started. Welcome back. My name is Sam, and this is Via Gaming, a channel all about empowering gamers. And today, the way I'm going to do that is by sharing with you guys 3 times I completely let a game mechanic ruin my experience, as well as what I did about it and how it all worked out. So by the end of this video, you guys should have a better understanding of how to push past your mistakes and get what it is you want. So the first time this happened, I was playing XCOM 2. And initially, I loved the game. I loved how you could evaluate situations with top-down and turn-based combat in ways that made you feel like a commander controlling a battlefield. And I loved how you could upgrade and customize your characters, your crew members, because it made them all unique and important. And I ended up getting attached to every single one of them. However, whenever one of these characters died, I couldn't handle it, because the people I'd come to know and love were gone for good because of mistakes that I made. And my sense of responsibility to them was so strong, I would save scum the crap out of that game. I restarted a battle every time someone died, and people die a lot in XCOM. They're expected to die. And this made the game drag on so long that by the time I beat the game, I was so relieved it was over that I finally didn't have to restart anything anymore. I ended up turning a fun and interesting game into a chore because I couldn't let go of a few characters. It was a completely different story when I played Shadow of War though. I made sure not to repeat my past mistakes. Now granted, Shadow of War isn't the same top-down strategy style like XCOM is. However, you do get to recruit troops and form your own army, and you can send those troops on specific strategic missions that fit their roles, like assassination, being a personal bodyguard, or fighting in an arena. And just like XCOM, these characters can and will die permanently. These characters were also super unique with their own distinct personalities and fighting styles and character flaws. It was super interesting because there was this one in particular who was an orc bard, and he had a limerick for every single situation. Like, out of all of these crazy guys, there was just this one goofball with a poem for every situation. It was fantastic. So I was just as attached to these characters in Shadow of War as I was to the ones in XCOM. But unlike XCOM, whenever I lost somebody, I wouldn't try to restart. I would go out and get revenge on the perpetrator and then move on to the next fight, missing that character. And I had so much more fun this way because I had experiences of loss and overcoming and stories of mercy and betrayal. It just became this adventure that I longed for. It was just fun. So when I was playing XCOM, I really should have just accepted the consequences of my mistakes, because sometimes you do the best you can with what you've got, and things still don't turn out the way that you want. And in the end, I end up robbing myself of the experience the game had intended for me. So now I just accept the repercussions of my actions, whatever they may be, because it's honestly just more fun that way. What wasn't fun though was experiencing the very much self-inflicted pain of a certain Ubisoft title named For Honor. And once again, I loved the game at first. I loved how the combat was deliberate and how every attack had to be calculated. It made you feel like you were an actual warrior on a battlefield. And the way you could customize your character's weapons, armors, and skills made you think critically about strategy and how to best leverage your skills with the character's traits. All of this made the victories feel like I earned them. But at some point, I was only playing to win, because I never partied up with any of my friends. So I was playing very competitively, and I was very isolated, and I got bitter because of that. It would only take a single loss to completely set me off. I got so angry that I would just rage quit over and over and over again until eventually I couldn't take it anymore and I had to quit the game entirely. And I loved For Honor. I just hated who I was when I was playing it. Because I was only playing to win, whenever I lost, I was left with nothing. Eventually, Apex Legends was released, and I tried my hand at that. Now, it is faster paced than For Honor, but it is still super competitive, because instead of having 8 people, you have 60 people. So there was even less of a chance of me winning. And yet I had an absolute blast, because I made sure to play with friends and enjoy playing the game instead of just enjoying winning the game. I ended up becoming a team player who was learning from his own mistakes and encouraging those he was playing with, instead of just some isolated, bitter rage quitter. I was happy whether I won or lost because it was about playing the game rather than winning the game. It went from being about the destination to being about the journey. So when I was playing For Honor, I shouldn't have been playing only to win. I should have been playing for fun. And I shouldn't have isolated myself. So from now on, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I am going to talk to random people, invite them to play with me, and I am going to enjoy playing the game instead of just winning the game. And man, I wish I knew all this stuff whenever I was trying out Don't Starve, because that is the last game that I could just not handle. And don't get me wrong, because Don't Starve is a good game. The way that you have to discover everything and overcome threats and obstacles and adapt to seasons, it all culminates to make you feel like you're a survivor, and at the end of it, you feel like you've achieved something great. But keep in mind that the higher you go, the further you will fall. Because when you die in Don't Starve, and not if, but when you die, you will restart with nothing. And I mean nothing. So, all of those resources that I had gathered and stored up for winter, and that base that I had built, and that map that I had explored and learned like the back of my hand, all of that goes bye-bye. I was completely disheartened because it felt pointless to lose everything and gain nothing, all because of a simple mistake that got me killed. And even as I got better at the game, I couldn't even enjoy it because I would get more and more stuff, and that would just make me more and more tense because I was waiting for the moment that I would lose it all again and have to start over from square one again. It got so brutal that I just had to stop playing because I felt like I was completely wasting my time. So I decided to take my own advice. I revisited Don't Starve with the simple goal of figuring out how to enjoy the game. What I'd learned is that it's really not that hard. All it took was letting go of the stuff that I knew, of the stuff that I had gathered, and the stuff that I built, and just looking forward to trying something new, to discovering a new map, and recognizing what I did well. Because even though I died, I still did a lot of things right. And starting over doesn't detract from that at all. Once I did that, I was completely hooked. I've put in over 40 hours now, and I love it. It's not about having all this stuff anymore. It's about enjoying the process and trying again and again and again and seeing what you can do differently. It's a completely different game, even though it's the same game, and all I changed was how I thought about it. So from the beginning, I should have had a more open mindset, and I should have played the game as it was intended and not blamed it for not fitting my expectations. Because I can't change the game itself, but I can change the way that I think about the game. And to me, that made all the difference in the world. At the end of the day, if you just accept your mistakes, you will have so much more fun. I promise you. Because the thing is, if you enjoy the process and if you enjoy the journey, then no defeat is going to keep you from your destination. I am planning to revisit For Honor and XCOM just like I did Don't Starve. So if you want to see how that goes, go ahead and subscribe over here. And if you're interested in knowing how games can trick you into playing more than you should, go ahead and click the video over here. Alright, I'll catch you guys later.